Hello everyone and welcome to this video in which I would like to talk a little bit about our body, this amazing 24/7 guard that we have. Now let me ask you, have you ever been involved in a commitment or an activity, something that was maybe temporary or maybe even ongoing, that was so against your values, your principles, or even your needs, and that just felt wrong? Or have you ever been at a workplace where you were maybe bullied by members of the team or by your boss, or where you didn't just feel it just didn't feel right? What you had to do, the work was not aligned with who you are. Now, as HSPs, the amazing thing is that we get to process things on a deep level, but we also have this strong gut feeling, intuition, however you may call it, and our body that we also jump in to let us know that whatever we're just engaged in is not aligned with who we are. And we have two choices. We can either ignore and say, okay, whenever I go to this event, whenever I meet with these people, whenever I have to do this, my stomach hurts, I get this terrible headache, whatever it may be. Or we can listen, which is actually the best thing we can do, and just know that it's our body trying to protect us from whatever it is that is not aligned with who we are. Let me just tell you a little story of when I was in my late 20s and I embarked on this amazing journey. It later became amazing as I changed the circumstances of becoming a classical singer. And the first conservatoire that I was accepted to, well, it turned out that I actually had a teacher who was assigned to me, a singing teacher, who, I can't say it any other way, was a bully. And I later came to talk and exchange experiences with other people who had been with her. And it so turns out that we'd all been suffering in silence, because what happens, maybe those of you who have also studied arts or performing arts, there's this pressure that's put on us once we get accepted into that kind of school, that it is something, it's such a big thing, and you better not mess up, and you better go through with the plan, because who knows, that may be the last art school, dance school, music school, whatever, that accepts you. And so what most of us opted to do at that time, which I later came to learn, is to suffer in silence. But the conditions were just, I mean, harsh isn't even the right word. It was just terrible. It was suffering. And so what happened one night, I woke up and I had this heavy feeling on my chest, and I was having a really, really, really hard time breathing. And it was the first time it had happened to me. I was in my late 20s, let's say 26, 27. And I was like, this has never happened. What's going on? And I wasn't making any connection. What I did was I decided to stay up, because I was too afraid to lie down and go back to sleep, because actually this feeling of not being able to breathe just got me into this panic of what if I suffocate. So the next day, first thing in the morning, I went to see my doctor, walked up those stairs, had to do I don't know how many breaks to get up there. He just looked at me and he immediately got me a prescription and an appointment with a specialist who was supposed to check my lung function. Now, this lady did all the tests, and then she called me in and she looked at me and she was like, if I didn't see you sitting in front of me I would have thought that these are the results of a 70-plus-year-old chain smoker. And I was like, no, I'm a 27-year-old singer. And she's like, well, we need to get you on a break. And if you need to, I will write a letter to the school. You can't attend classes. We need to look at this first. And so she explained to me that I had quite a heavy asthma. And she asked me, have you ever had this before? And I told her, no, never, ever, ever. And so she prescribed me this spray. And would you know that from day to day, I got better. And I think this whole condition didn't even last 2 weeks. I think the moment I was catapulted out of that school, actually my body became better and I got better every day. And this is where I would now like to talk to you not only about our body being the 24/7 guard, but also about body wisdom. Because just think about it, why asthma? I mean, stomach pain could have done it, but probably my body and my mind, knowing that I was stubborn and I at that moment, and all I wanted to do was prove that I deserved to be at that school, that I deserved the chance of becoming a classical singer. I would have probably ignored it, taken painkillers whatsoever just to go to classes. But what happens when a singer has asthma? Well, if you can't breathe deeply, you can't sing. It was impossible for me. I had these shallow breaths. There was no way I was going to be able to produce a sound with that kind of breath. And that's where I thought, oh my God, my body is so wise. And it so happened that later, a friend of mine told me the story where she was at a workplace where she was bullied by her boss, and it was so bad that she would need to get up, go out, cry, and come in again. And one morning she woke up and she couldn't move her legs. She literally couldn't. And she told her partner, I can't move. And he was like, well, we need to call at work. You can't go if you can't move. And would you know that the moment she made the call and cancelled and said and called in sick, her legs started to be able to move again. And I don't know about you, maybe you've had your own experience like that. I think sometimes it does vary, right? Sometimes it's just a stomach ache or just a headache, but something in your body telling you this is not right. Whatever I'm about to embark in or whatever I'm involved in is not right. And sometimes it will just hit you in a way that you can't continue doing that thing and violating your own values and needs and principles. And this is where I do believe that, especially with as HSPs, but I think we all have this, that our body will be like, I need to protect you from you. I need to protect you from whatever you are doing that is not healthy for you. And my only recommendation is when your body speaks, listen. Don't turn a deaf ear on your body. Don't ignore it. And if it's something that's reoccurring, even double check. It's interesting. Why does it always happen when I'm about to do this, when I'm about to see this person, when I'm about to go to this place, when this is about to happen? Some people, it's going to be events, maybe with certain people. Just really listen into yourself and say, is it something punctual or is it something that I'm regularly experiencing? Because body wisdom is real and our body is and wants to be our guard. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again in one of the next videos.